nazzled this morning. Okay, we're back. Okay, we're good. I think we're good. Let me get on screen. God. Let me shut it off. Yo, I'm sorry for all the issues today. I don't know what in the world is going on. It started last night, and I didn't really look into it. I thought today things would be better. I reset the modem. I changed settings on the computer. I reset the video card settings. I called a friend. I changed settings on the streaming thing. I did all this mumbo jumbo BS. I did like 9 or 10, 15 tests in the time. So hopefully it's okay. You know, sometimes there's no way to tell unless you run a live and see what happens. Sometimes you just got to put a little stress on it. But it should be okay now. Now, there's a couple of things going on with regards to Samuel. There is a press conference going on right now. So I think we should watch the current live press conference, and then we can watch the press conference from the lawyers. That was yesterday, if you guys haven't seen that. And then we could talk about this Florida story. I was gonna do the Florida story at the start, but I decided since all this stuff is going on now, let's just do the main story first. So just want to make sure you guys can hear me clearly. It's okay. It's not going crazy on your end. It's not crazy buffering. Let me check here. Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Kevin, what's up? You guys let me know if it's running okay. I made some adjustments. I also did something that I don't really like to do. I usually stream in something called ultra low latency, which is like I can engage with you guys. There's less delay. Usually with normal latency, it's like a 30-second delay. I'll say hello. You guys will hear it 30 seconds later. The ultra low latency, it's like a couple of seconds, 5 seconds. I don't know. But I switched to an in-between thing, low latency. So hopefully that'll help a little bit too when there's hiccups and issues that maybe you guys aren't going to feel the effect of what's going on because there's a little bit of a delay where the stream and the encoders can kind of correct itself, I think. So, okay. So we're going to be watching these press conferences. Samuel Olson, the 6-year-old, the latest news. I haven't seen the press conferences. The thing that I posted last night is that there was a body found in a hotel. And I believe as of today, it was confirmed. I'll double check. I believe it was confirmed to be him because the biological mother went to ID him, to identify him. And so the media is saying, I believe they're saying it's him. Yeah. So there's a lot we got to talk about. I'm going to navigate a couple of things behind the scenes to make sure that we're properly in the algorithm. I might have lost the algorithm today with all the resets and all this the testing and all that. I might have lost the people and I might have lost the algorithm, but let's see. So let's start off with the current press conference. We'll put that over here. Get this over here. And thank you for bearing with me. It's crazy ass morning for me. I didn't expect to spend or waste my morning trying to fix the internet. Let's check it out here. And this was just 30 minutes ago. So let's check out the latest thing first.
So that everybody's not on one side.
Make sure everybody's got their phones on silent.
Oops, excuse me.
So we're going to watch the more recent thing first. This is just 30 minutes ago. The Houston police did a press conference, and then we'll backtrack and we'll watch. I want to hear what the attorneys had to say with regards to the biological mother of Samuel.
Ready? Okay. Good morning. My name is Heather Morris. I'm the Assistant Chief of the Criminal Investigations Command. And I wanted to start off here today by letting you know that I'm going to be providing some information on this investigation, a missing 5-year-old boy, Samuel Olson, now 6. But to start off, I just wanted to say that there's a lot of investigative work that's necessary in this investigation that still needs to be done. So I'm going to be providing some broad details about what happened and kind of connecting some dots in how we got here today. But just to start off, there's a lot of details I'm not going to be able to share because this is an active investigation, and there's going to be some things that we're really going to need to get right, to be able to, follow this thing up. So I wanted to start off also by introducing my team that I have with me here this morning. I've got Commander Null of the Homicide Division, and also I have missing persons investigators of the Major Assaults Family Violence Unit here with me. And I'll start off. I've got Officer Sean King, I've got Officer Brian Fort, I've got Officer Danny Doe, I've got Officer Martha Bailey, Sergeant Brendan McCord, and Officer Darren Busey. There's also, I just can't say enough about this amazing team that's standing behind me and the work that they've done on this case. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the work of all of these investigators behind me, as well as some additional investigators as well that are not here because they're out actively still working this investigation. And so I want to acknowledge Sergeant Persard and Sergeant Grimes and Officer Crowder and Officer Mr. Vinogradov, and Sergeant Brady and Sergeant Casso. And all of these investigators have done just an amazing, phenomenal job, and there's still a lot of work to be done. But our hearts go out to the family members of Samuel. We are very, very saddened by the events that have brought us here today. This is an absolute tragic event, and our prayers go out to the family. So we've asked everybody here today to provide information on the investigation of 6-year-old Samuel Olson, who was reported missing to HPD on Thursday, May 27, 2021 at approximately 6 p.m. Patrol officers were dispatched to a residence in the southwest part of town where they met the father of Samuel, Dalton Olson. Also at the residence was Mr. Olson's girlfriend, Theresa Balboa.
Hold on, real quick. Just take it back.
21 at approximately to HPD on Thursday, May 27, 2021 at approximately 6 p.m. Patrol officers were dispatched to a residence in the southwest part of town where they met the father of Samuel, Dalton Olson. Also at the residence was Mr. Olson's girlfriend, Theresa Balboa. Mrs. Balboa told the officers on the scene that she was at the residence that morning at approximately 7 a.m. when she saw Samuel's mother with an unknown officer at the front of the residence. Ms. Balboa indicated that the officer told her that she would go to jail for kidnapping if she did not return Samuel to the mother. Ms. Balboa indicated that she recognized Samuel's mother because she had seen her before. Ms. Balboa told the officers that Samuel's mother and the officer left in separate vehicles. Mr. Olson told the officers that once he heard this story from Ms. Balboa, he contacted Samuel's mother and she told him that Samuel was not with her. Missing persons investigators began working this investigation and made contact with Samuel's mother. Through investigative efforts, they were provided evidence that Samuel's mother was at her residence throughout the entire morning of May 27, 2021. Investigators continued to follow up on this case.
So it's a lie.
And made contact with Samuel's mother. Through investigative efforts, they were provided evidence that Samuel's mother was at her residence throughout the entire morning of May 27, 2021. Investigators continued to follow up on this case, doing everything investigatively possible to find Samuel. Their investigative efforts included in part interviews with Ms. Balboa, Mr. Olson, Samuel's mother, and others. Missing persons investigators discovered inconsistencies in Ms. Balboa's statements and consulted the Homicide Division. From that point, a collaborative effort was conducted by both the Missing Persons Unit and homicide investigators. Also, Texas EquiSearch assisted in searching multiple locations. A search warrant was obtained for the residence in the 15,000 block of the Gulf Freeway. This is the residence where Ms. Balboa was living. On Monday, the search warrant was executed by investigators, and the Houston Forensic Science Center collected evidence from that location. That evidence will be processed and analyzed for its forensic value. Also, a 2012 Dodge Avenger was towed from that location to also be searched and analyzed for evidence. Yesterday, investigators were contacted by Jasper Police Department, and they were notified that they had received an anonymous tip from Crime Stoppers that led law enforcement officers to a motel in Jasper, Texas in connection with this investigation. Jasper Police Department officers initiated contact at the motel with Ms. Balboa and eventually discovered the body of a young child. Ms. Balboa was taken into custody.
I'm like not really listening because I'm doing all this thing behind the background, but this is just telling us everything.
They had received an anonymous tip from Crime Stoppers that led law enforcement officers to a motel in Jasper, Texas in connection with this investigation. Jasper Police Department officers initiated contact at the motel with Ms. Balboa and eventually discovered the body of a young child. Ms. Balboa was taken into custody.
There you go.
At this time, we believe the child to be Samuel, but we cannot confirm that it is him until the medical examiner makes that determination.
Okay, so there's no confirmation yet. From what I read last night, from that article, they believe, like you said, they believe it's him, but they have to do like the final confirmation.
The Texas Rangers took lead on the investigation, and homicide investigators traveled to the location to continue their follow-up. At this time, the Harris County District Attorney's Office has accepted charges of tampering with evidence against Ms. Balboa. Once this case has been fully investigated, investigators will be presenting the case to the District Attorney's Office for additional charges if appropriate. In addition to the investigators that I've already identified today, and again, I just can't say enough how proud I am of their work and all the efforts that they put into this investigation. But there are other people that help with this investigation, so I just wanted to thank some people that I know that have been involved in this investigation, and some of those are Texas EquiSearch, Tim Miller, and all of his people that he has with him, the Harris County District Attorney's Office, specifically Samantha Connect that worked with our investigators to get search warrants, the Texas Rangers that helped out at the scene last night, Jasper Police Department, the Jasper County Sheriff's Office, the Jasper County District Attorney's Office, our Houston Forensic Science Center, and also Crime Stoppers. I would like to open it up for questions, but again, a lot of the details I'm not going to be able to provide information on just because of the seriousness of the investigation and the ongoing investigation. So if somebody has any questions.
There was, I think Monday, that detectives said that they believe that the child wasn't missing last week, but since April the 30th. Is that still something that you guys are looking at, or he disappeared on May 27th?
So we know that the last day that Samuel was in school was April 30th. So other than that, we don't have the information yet as far as when was the last time that he was actually seen. So that's a big part of what we're doing right now and the conversations we're having right now to determine when that was. But April 30th was the last day he was in school.
And what stage do you know that the child was found? Was he with trauma or anything like that?
Right, so I'm going to leave that for the, once the, medical examiners have done their, done the work on that, and not get into the specifics on that, and mainly because, a lot of that we don't have yet. We just don't have it until that medical examiner is able to do their part.
Has Ms. Balboa said anything?
So, she has been talking to investigators because, like I said, we had some inconsistent stories. So we have talked to her multiple times, and that's going to be ongoing.
Can you talk about a little bit the house on McAvoy? You guys were there yesterday, searching the house, searching the area. What was found in that investigation that led to, or in connection to Jasper?
So McAvoy was the location where Ms. Balboa reported Samuel missing from. And so obviously that's a place that we have an interest in. As far as anything else there that led us to Jasper, McAvoy doesn't have any connection at this time that we know of to that. What led us to Jasper was the Crime Stoppers tip that came in, letting Jasper PD know that Ms. Balboa was there at that location in a motel there in Jasper.
And that Dodge, and excuse me if I missed this, that Dodge, do you believe that it belonged to her? What do we know that
We
was the
believe
car?
that that was a vehicle that she primarily drove.
But we don't think it belonged to her. per se.
As far as the actual ownership, no, but that is a vehicle she primarily drove.
Does Ms. Balboa have any criminal record?
Well, I can confirm that Ms. Balboa is out on bond currently.
For what?
That would be for a assault with intent impeding breath.
Was there a protective order against the dad?
Mm.
Olson?
I am not aware of a protective order. Protective order. A protective order. No.
From Ms. Balboa with Dalton, the dad.
There may have been some conditions of the bond, but specifically a protective order, I'm not aware of one.
So she was on bond on an assault charge against him.
Right.
Against the father
Right.
of Samuel's father.
How did she get to the motel in Jasper? With anyone?
So we're still investigating that, and we have additional people that we're talking to. I don't want to get into details, as far as that goes, because I think it would be very premature. Yeah, we're talking to, we have several other people we're talking to.
Do you know if the child was already at that motel and she arrived there after,
shit.
or?
So I would probably hold off on that one. And again, that's going to play out. We'll, as we go through the investigation, we'll be able to, shore up a lot more details on that.
Do you have any motive? Why she would take him? Why Jasper? Why a hotel? Is there a motive behind this? It's so heartbreaking.
It is absolutely heartbreaking, absolutely. And as far as a motive, we do not have a motive at this point in time.
Is there anybody else you're looking as a person of interest? Anybody else you're looking to take into custody?
So we do have other people
Ooh.
that we have an interest in talking to in this investigation.
talking to.
As far as charges, we're not there as far as charges go, and but we do have additional people we're talking to, definitely.
But that's not the father of the child included in those people of interest?
So I think that I'm not going to say that the father is a person of interest, but he's definitely somebody that we can continue to talk to and get information from.
How many would you say are people of interest?
I really couldn't say exactly, but there are several people that that we're interested in talking to additionally.
How was Samuel brought in from the car into the motel?
Can you say that again?
How was Samuel transported from the car into the motel?
So we are working on.
By the way, thank you guys for subscribing, coming through. Sorry about all the issues I had this morning. This is one of the latest press conferences. We might backtrack and watch the attorney one. I'm not sure if we really even need to watch the attorney one because they're breaking down everything here, but I'm going to briefly look at it because I'm kind of curious to see what they have to say. And just really quickly for the people that are joining, just a little picture thing with the names. Let me give you just a quick, better view. And let me just take myself away for a second and then we'll get right back. But yeah, so that's the girlfriend, Theresa. Okay, that's Dalton, the father. That's the biological mother, Sarah. And then that's Samuel, 6-year-old. And so they're saying that her story wasn't true, that it was a lie. That she came up with the story that the biological mother popped up and with somebody dressed as a police officer and said that, to take Samuel. And police are saying that it's not true. They've been investigating through investigative means. So that's not true. I wonder about Dalton. Supposedly they had a history, this girlfriend, and Dalton and, domestic violence and stuff. And I'm not too exactly sure of the bio mother's history. And the weird thing with the bio mother, okay, put myself again on the screen. The weird thing with the bio mother is that she said the lawyers, maybe we're going to watch the lawyer thing. Like the lawyer and what grandma said, Tonya, she hasn't seen Samuel since last year, January 2020. was he on the run all this time with the child? The lawyer also claimed that she had primary custody. So what's going on there? And the lawyer also said in the news article, I haven't watched the video yet, but that initially when they were doing exchanges with Samuel, that it would be through Tanya, the grandmother. And then one day those exchanges just stopped, you know, so. And that's why with these stories, you kind of you shouldn't come to full conclusions because we just don't know. We're learning on a daily basis, just like this whole story about this police officer and the bio mother, which is pretty dirty. That's pretty dirty too, to put that on the mother, to put that whole scheme and thing on the mother.
You know, surveillance evidence, you know, from the hotel, and so that'll play out once we, you know, do further investigation.
Can you read what she was what charges she was taken into custody on? And you said she's bailed out already on those.
Okay, so she is on bond for a case from November of last year.
Okay.
Right,
And that's
that's
the
right.
assault with intent to impede breath.
Okay.
And that's the one where Samuel's father, Dalton Olson, was the complainant in that case. Currently, she's on bond for that case. The DA's office here in Harris County has accepted charges for tampering with evidence at this time. And again, once we do more investigation, you know, and if appropriate, we'll be, you know, working with the DA's office to pursue additional charges if that's appropriate.
But she is in custody right now.
She is in custody. She's actually in the Jasper County Jail right now.
Okay.
And so we're working on finalizing getting our charges filed here. Like I said, the Harris County DA's office has accepted charges here in Harris County, and we will be trying to get, you know, working through the process to get her returned to Harris County.
Got it. Do we know how Samuel was potentially killed at this
We do not. We'll have to wait. That'll.
What we do know from the article that I read last night, the video that I posted, that supposedly his body was found, if we believe it's him, it hasn't been fully confirmed, in a tote bag in a hotel room in Jasper, Texas. When I pulled up the map last night, it's about like a 2-hour drive. I'm not in Texas, but 130 something miles. What were they planning on doing with Samuel? Was there like a whole plan? Like, I feel like too, like, she must have maybe been talking to somebody else. Somebody else maybe knew about what was going on. Or did she act solo? Did the father know at all or not? Art and Soul said that the parents have joint custody of Samuel. I think when we listen to the attorney one, they're gonna kind of talk about that. But from what I read in the article last night, her attorney claimed that she had primary custody, though she hadn't seen him since January 2020, Samuel, which is weird, bizarre. And the other thing too, before we continue, I remember yesterday when we were watching the grandmother Tonya talk, or it was one of the videos that we watched, because Theresa went missing, right? She went missing the day before, but before she went missing, I believe they said like she was going out and handing out flyers and like searching and all this stuff, and it's just crazy, but it's been done before where these people insert themselves into finding somebody that they know what happened to, like, and they're involved and you know exactly what happened, but they're out there. And I don't know if it's like they're getting something out of it, or if it's just like, let's see if they're getting closer or if they're off kind of thing. That's incredible to insert yourself like that. It reminds me of the story that we did on the channel really quickly, of the guy that burned his entire family. They had like 4 or 5 kids. A woman, I think they were separated. It was his ex-wife. She warned and pleaded with the judge, hey, he's threatened to burn down the house. Then this guy burns down the house. All the kids and the woman are dead. He comes up with some cockamamie story. And then he's standing in the crowd of people and they're all holding candles. God bless you all. He's like, oh, thank you. Yeah, he's putting on a whole show. And then he's talking about God. Yeah, God got me. Don't worry. God, I know I'm going to find something. I'm going to do better. I'm going to find something better. It is crazy. Crazy. All right, let's go.
That'll come from the medical examiner investigation. Yeah.
Will Ms. Balboa make a court appearance in Jasper County today? You know?
I don't have any specifics on that. I do not know.
Did Jasper Police comment on how Ms. Balboa acted or reacted when she was apprehended?
Yeah, I do not have that information.
The mother in this case, the mom. How is she
Samuel's mother.
doing? How is she doing? And has she indicated any kind of threats from Ms. Balboa at all?
I'm not aware of any. Obviously, as a mother, I understand she's, extremely upset, but I'm not aware of any threats or anything like that.
Do we know how long Samuel may have been dead?
We do not know, and that'll be part of our extensive follow-up investigation.
Any other questions? And folks, please remember, he has not been positively identified yet. Let's keep that in mind.
Okay, anything else?
Anything else?
All right,
All right,
thank you.
Thank you.
I do
Appreciate
have
it.
one question. That apartment that you guys served the search warrant on Monday,
Mhm.
who specifically does that belong to?
That apartment is where Ms. Balboa lives there. That's her residence. And there is another male that lives there with her, but I don't want to, at this time, we don't want to identify.
That residence too was kind of a confusion thing. I've read multiple different things, not even sure what. But that vehicle that was taken, they're saying in this press conference, I showed the picture yesterday. There was like a black vehicle that was taken. They're saying that's a vehicle that Theresa drives, if I heard that correctly. But they're not sure if she actually owns it. So right now, this is a Texas story, Samuel.
Who that is.
Do you know Ms. Balboa will be brought back to Harris County for?
Yeah, so
If you're talking to me, I don't know. I'm not looking at the chat too much.
our intent is to work through the legal process to get her returned to Harris County, yes.
Any other questions? All right, folks, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Basically just a regular, I'm just going to basically regurgitate what you were talking about and just stay consistent with your information.
Okay.
So,
Are you going to go into all the names?
no,
Okay, I was
I'm not
gonna
going to
say,
do that. No, mine's going to be a lot shorter than that, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to talk about, the fact that,
Yeah, remember this one, we tweaked it.
yes,
They forwarded a little bit.
that's going to come from the medical examiner. Okay.
Do you know when y'all will be giving us updated again, like the to say that it,
That's going to come from the medical examiner
Okay.
for the ID, so you might want to check with them. You can contact them directly because they're the ones that provide identities.
Okay. But another update from you guys will come, when can we expect that?
I wouldn't think we would give another update. I think we've kind of gotten most of out there, and then the rest of it's just gonna be, that investigative follow-up and putting all the little pieces together.
Sure, and then the dad right now, I mean, you're a potential person of interest, but not.
That's a good question, Evelyn. I wonder who the other male that lives with her and if he's involved.
I'm not, I would not, obviously the investigation has to, but I'm not identifying him as a person of interest. But he's definitely somebody that we, we're talking to. But but we'll let the investigation. Yeah. If it's, and we'll play it by ear and we'll see, what the situation is and if there's, but it's going to be a while. I mean, it's not gonna be next week, it's not gonna be the week after, it's gonna be a while, because it's gonna be a while before we can get, just that ME's report could take several months. Right, so it's not gonna be any time in the next
Love
few
it,
months.
Celsius.
I would suspect, because a key piece is gonna be the ME's report.
Got it. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Lots of guys.
Yes.
Well, yeah, if we're thinking, well, we don't know too much, because I was going to say, if we're thinking logically, she had to have help because Samuel's gone and she's with these people. But, we don't know when he was dead. And that's what I'm really wondering. How long? Was it days or weeks, you know.
JJ, did you want to swap chairs? JJ? Did you want to sit in
Be forward a little bit.
Sí, básicamente estamos aquí
Oh,
el día de
Spanish.
hoy para dar información a que nuestros oficiales de patrulla fueron llamados, estuvo la señora Balboa y que ella no tenía varias
Okay,
la
so this is just the
investigación
Spanish version.
que posiblemente eso
We already saw that. All right, so we can move on from that. Wait, are they still
en el
live?
hotel ahí en Jasper.
It's live still.
Okay. Anything else?
Let's see.
Estaba
Just-
libre bajo fianza por un
Yeah, that's
caso
it.
de
All right, so that's the Spanish version. Let's take a look at I wanted to look at the attorney one. Now, this was yesterday evening, where the attorney is speaking on behalf of the biological mother. That video we just watched now is the more recent one that just came out today. So let's check this out.
Situation going on between the two. But if y'all have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Can you tell us what the custody agreement is currently for Sam between Sarah and Dalton?
Yes, well, currently our client has primary custody, but our client has been denied access for the child for many months, and has been going through the court system and trying to, right this wrong. But our client hasn't had access to young Samuel in many, many months.
When was the last time she saw him?
I'd say approximately like almost a year. Almost a year.
When was the last time she talked to him?
That I don't know, about a year ago. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Sarah reached out to us, and she wanted us to be her voice because we know that public opinion is important, and people want to hear from both sides, want to hear from the mom, but right now she can't get a few words out. I mean, she's very emotional. She's very stressed. She doesn't know where her child is at, and like any parent would be.
What about this story about her going to the house with an officer, somebody in uniform? What about that story?
That is completely untrue.
What do you think about that story? Sorry.
I mean,
So really quickly, right now they're talking about the whole story with that Theresa allegedly, it seems like she made up. That's what the cops are saying too. That the biological mother showed up, the police officer. Somebody asked too in the chat about was there a protective order? Was there like a protective order against her? It looks like there might have been here from what I'm seeing. I'll see if I can put it up on the screen for you. Quality's not that great, but like they mentioned in the previous video, it's stemming from November. So I'll see if I can try to show it to you guys. Let's see what we can do. Do that. Oh, it's not bad. This is Theresa Balboa. And you can see that this is from 11/29/2020. It says assault fam house mem something. So I believe she was bonded out. She was bond made, but she had another hearing, I guess, in June. Another thing we could look at real quick. Let's see. Let's do this. So I haven't looked at all this stuff, but it looks like there was a protective order that was ordered or filed. So, I mean, clearly they seem to be having some issues, the father and the girlfriend. And this is from the person on Facebook, Where is Baby Kate, aka Catherine Shelby Elizabeth Phillips. I wish she had an easier name. That's a little, for people to find, it's a little tough. But yeah, they even had this here. This was from, let me show you another one. Let me save this. This is all from Where is Baby Kate on Facebook. You can check her out for the documents and stuff. One more, and then I'll get back to the video. But the state of Texas versus Balboa, and these are like the bond conditions, and they were supposed to have no contact with the complainant, so like they weren't supposed to be around each other. You ever heard of like couples or whatever, they have issues and violence happens, and then it gets ordered that they're supposed to stay away from each other? Or if you get a restraining order, you know how many times people get restraining orders and you're supposed to stay away from the person, but most of the time people, they still go back together, they violate the orders and all that kind of stuff. It seems like that's what was kind of happening. So they had all this stuff going on, but they were obviously still together, let me keep this going. By the way, the audio on this video is not that great. I hear it more out of my left ear. So if you're wearing headphones, just FYI.
There's only one reason why somebody make up, a story like that. I think the story, it tells itself, especially with me giving you the answer that it's untrue, and my client hasn't seen her child in many, many months. Then you can base your opinion or your conclusion on that.
Kind of piggybacking off that, what type of communication has she had with Samuel's father over the last few months, last year since you last saw her?
Not much, at all. I mean, it's just the point where, a writ, was filed, and, it's just trying to find him, trying to serve it, and they've just been going through a lot of the court process. And, with the pandemic, when this, arose, when they filed for divorce, it's, the whole world kind of shut down, courts, shut down. Things, took us several months to start getting, some business taken care of in the courts, but also with him eluding,
So they're saying, the guy's been eluding, because they were questioning why since January.
at all.
Kind of piggybacking off that, what type of communication has she had with Samuel's father over the last few months, last year since you last saw her?
Not much, at all. I mean, it's just the point where, a writ, was filed, and, it's just trying to find him, trying to serve it, and they've just been going through a lot of the court process. And, with the pandemic, when this, arose, when they filed for divorce, it's, the whole world kind of shut down, courts, shut down. Things, took us several months to start getting,
That's kind of interesting too. Like if what they're saying is true, that they've been trying to find a filer, that they filed these papers, with the virus thing too, everything's kind of delayed, and they supposedly he's been avoiding them, then maybe he should have some charges too, shouldn't he? If legally he was supposed to hand over Samuel, and if that's the case, in this case, it might have even been saved his life. He has some sort of responsibility. Sydney says the dad had no legal rights to keep the child. He kidnapped him, and his mother knew it. Well, they're saying she had primary custody, according to the lawyer.
Some business taken care of in the courts, but also with
Does that mean that he didn't have any rights? I don't know. Primary custody.
And, it's a tough problem if you can't find,
regardless,
to serve paperwork to.
Okay, it's claims here online. Primary custody. This is from rightlawyers.com. Is where a child spends more than 61% of the time with one parent. For example, if a child spends 4 days a week with one parent and 3 days with the other, it's still joint because it's less than 61%. So she was supposed to have Samuel most of the time, more than 61%. Obviously, that wasn't happening because since last year, January is the last time they state that she saw him.
Can you say whether or not she actually has ever been to his residence?
That I don't know. That I don't know. I'm the owner.
Hey.
I'm the owner of the law firm. There's about 70, people here, at the law firm. And I wanted to. Miss Olson reached out and asked, me to be, her voice, which I'm glad, to do. But I personally haven't been working on the case, from the start. So I don't know. I don't have exact, dates, and I don't want to say anything that, would be wrong.
Do you know why he attends that elementary school in Jersey Village area? I mean, who lives in that area that he's been staying with? Why is he going to a school way up in Jersey Village? Do you know?
That's what I don't know I might see if I can look that up too. I'm wondering how far is Jerseyville from the location where Samuel was staying? Anybody know in the chat?
I don't.
Is that far?
Maybe
yes,
Joanna could have some insight.
Initially, when the father took, possession of him and failed to return him to our client, Miss Olson,
Oh shoot. My bad.
Samuel went approximately 2 months without attending any school, and then eventually was transferred to another school. Exact information as to why, we don't know. A lot of information along with possession and visitation has been withheld all this time.
Thank you for sharing the stream.
They would exchange them for different types.
Well, upon them separating, they were Sarah was exchanging the child primarily. Grandma was her point of contact, and then came last January when they did not return Samuel to our client.
Do they have to do it at a separate location, not house to house, but like a neutral location?
No, it was at Grandma's.
When you say grandma, you mean Tanya?
Yes, correct.
And so January 2020 is the last time she had contact with him?
That was the last possession period that was exchanged.
Has she had any verbal communication, like over the phone?
No, ma'am, she was denied all
Since
this time.
January of 2020?
Correct.
That's a long time. Can't you, let's say you have main custody of a child, or primary custody as they call it. This is the distance, by the way, from the area, I believe, where they were at the residence and the vehicle got taken, where Samuel was staying, to Jersey Village, the area. About 30 minutes. I mean, I guess it's not that far. The Jasper thing was kind of weird. The 130 miles. I don't remember where it's at on the map. I know it was to the right somewhere. But that was weird.
And so what is her reaction to just knowing that her son is missing?
She's completely devastated.
It's very hard to get a few words out. I mean, she feels the system has let her down. She feels that the courts have let her down. She feels that I have two children as well. To be denied access, and then to find out this information, I mean, it's just, her heart is just torn into pieces right now.
Did she ever feel her son was in danger?
Thank you.
In her?
Thank you for the super chat. Sounds like a a huge family was over custody. Thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it.
His father's custody.
That would be something that we want to reserve our comments as far as, because of the ongoing custody battle. That would be essential to our custody proceedings.
But the main thing that Sarah, wanted us, to convey to everybody is that, she just, if anybody knows any information, to help, find young Samuel, that's, the number one thing, right now. I know, dealing with any court issues, that's secondary right now to, young Samuel's health, and I mean, she's praying that we're all praying. Hasn't been a happy day, around here, at all, dealing with this, the tragedy and everything going on over this past weekend, over the extended holiday. And I mean, it's just, our hearts, go out, to young Samuel wherever he's at, and we're all praying, for a positive outcome.
That's what I meant to say too. Kind of, I thought, couldn't you report something if you have primary custody? Livin said, let me read what Livin said. Livin, Love, and Leo. The mom could have simply called the police and showed them the court paperwork, and both her and the police go to the residence and get the son. I don't know if the mother knew where he was at, but if he was enrolled, I mean, they said he hadn't been in school like 2 months, but at some point, if he was in school or something, they should be able to track him. And if it was a kidnapping situation, I thought that would qualify for an Amber Alert. I know they have different requirements in different places, but if she specifically knew that, I think it depends.
How long were they married, and what was the reason they
That I don't know.
Approximately 2.5, 3 years. And the reason that is being pled for at this time was insupportability.
Is your divorce finalized?
That aspect is finalized. The only thing pending is the modification for conservatorship.
Can you tell us when the divorce was finalized and at what?
Oh, let's listen to this again real quick.
2.5, 3 years.
That I don't know.
Approximately 2.5, 3 years. And the reason, approximately,
Reason they divorced.
You know, for a positive outcome.
Sorry.
When were they married and what was the reason they divorced?
That I don't know.
approximately 2.5, 3 years. And the reason that is being pled for at this time was insupportability.
Okay.
Is your divorce finalized?
That aspect is finalized. The only thing pending is the modification for conservatorship.
Can you tell us when the divorce was finalized and at what point the current custody arrangements were made in court?
Okay, there has been no modifications to the custody orders that are in place, that were set in place as of 2019.
And that again is
Good
chief
stuff.
of primary.
That is correct.
Has she been contacted by police?
Yes, people have reached out to her. She has been cooperating, you know, with the investigation fully. Yes, she just does not feel comfortable, you know, talking to the media right now.
Theresa Balboa, you know, basically implicates her in her own son's disappearance. I mean, what do you think about that?
Okay, say that again.
Theresa Balboa, the father's girlfriend, basically implicates her in her own son's disappearance.
I mean, so like I said earlier, like that statement about a imaginary officer or like somebody, you know, posing as an officer is false. It's false. So, I mean, that tells you.
And for the people that just joined, we watched the newest conference at the beginning of the stream. Cops confirm that that's false. They state that they investigated and that story is not true. And also Teresa's in custody. Yo, thank you for all the likes. Thank you for the subs. Amy, Michelle, Julie, Rachel, thank you for the share. Brittany, Hugo, Angela, Stevie, James. Appreciate all that. Let's keep going.
Everything you need to know right there.
And do you know anything about a criminal case in the Galveston courts about a car assault?
Yeah, well, I mean, we are taking care of the family battle, you know, so we are not, you know, so we're not able to, you know, comment because we weren't hired. You know, we don't represent anyone in any criminal, you know, issues on this matter. So I couldn't tell you anything about any criminal matter.
So just to clarify, Sarah was given primary custody in 2019?
That is correct.
But she hasn't seen her son since January of 2020?
Correct.
That is correct.
Does she feel in any way that law enforcement or the court system has let her down in that case? Or what are her thoughts on that, not seeing her son and having primary custody?
I mean, I'll reiterate what I said, you know, earlier. Like that's, you know, that's how, you know, she feels. And I know the pandemic, you know, this was in January, and then after, you know, hiring us and, you know, starting to file, you know, the paperwork, when she was withheld, you know, there was a visitation back in January 2020, and then at the end of visitation, she wasn't given back, you know, young Samuel, you know, so then that's when we had to start, you know, filing paperwork, and then, you know, the pandemic hit, and then, even when the paperwork was accepted, you know, trying to find him and find the child, you know, just took some time. And then for, you know, other reasons, you know, that we're not handling, just, you know, it just kept delaying. And, but yeah, she really feels that the system wasn't there, you know, for her or young Samuel to be able to be with his mom.
What is her reaction to just hearing this allegation made about her?
Like anybody would, you know, on somebody being alleged to have had somebody to come and dress up as a police officer, you know, to go and take a child. It's a remarkable, you know, story, you know, to tell. But I mean, how could if the police officer would have some paperwork, would have something to be.
And by the way, too, Theresa is now charged with this. We found out during the press conference, and it's on the news right now, that she's been charged with tampering with evidence, which I'm sure will increase. Usually they start out with small things or little charges or whatever charge, and I've seen a lot of times it goes up and increases depending on what's found and what comes along. And somebody was asking who's Theresa in the chat. I threw, like I was just showing you guys, I threw together a quick little, I copy and pasted a couple of pictures, and I put some names. So Theresa's the girlfriend, Dalton's the father, Sarah's the biological mother. So that's Samuel, and she's the one that concocted the story. She also had, I believe, had a protective order because she hit or did something to Dalton, like physical, whatever. They weren't supposed to be together. They were supposed to keep their distance, and apparently they were still seeing each other. And she came up with this cockamamie story, and now she disappears after helping search and handing out flyers. She disappears the day before. That's when the grandmother made the plea after. And then 2 hours away from the residence, a body was found in a tote bag. Kind of like a little summary.
Documented, to take that seriously. And if she has been denied access for that long, I mean, they're not gonna. I mean, there's too many holes, obviously in that story, and there's a problem. And if you or I got that, were accused of something like that, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
After the meeting in January 2020, when she did not receive custody of Samuel back, what was her first move? Did she contact law enforcement? Did she try to contact the courts?
Couldn't hear that.
What did she do to try to rectify that and get that handled immediately? Because I mean, obviously, it's her son, and she's supposed to have custody, pandemic or not. What were her steps? What were the steps she took to get him back in custody?
Yeah, the steps was taken is to, I mean, it's either calling law enforcement or, calling an attorney, to get paperwork filed, and that's what she did immediately in January of 2020.
But COVID and other things delayed that from happening is what you're saying?
Yeah, because, I mean, it takes a process to get, a writ, the habeas signed by a judge in order to direct officers to go forcibly and go find the child and get the child. And so it takes, a little bit of time, and then, January, the whole world changed. I mean, sorry, in March, 2020, the whole world changed, and the courts were closed. I mean, people, officers weren't really going out and going to try to be around people. I mean, none of us were trying to be around each other, back in March, because, I mean, when the rodeo, closed down.
I'm not exactly sure. Was she at the hotel? I know she's in custody. And it was an anonymous tip, which you got to wonder who the anonymous tip was, that led them to the Western Motel in Jasper, about 2 hours away. And they had video of investigators going in and out of the Jasper Motel wearing protective clothing. Jasper police contacted Balboa and discovered the body. Balboa is in Jasper County Jail. I'll see if I find anything else.
That's when the entire, city knew something, bad, was coming. And we've all been living in a crazy world, since. And thankfully things are starting to open up again. And
oh, yeah, no, she was in the same room. Okay, according to KHOU, Balboa is in jail in Jasper, but will be brought back to Houston. She was arrested Tuesday in the same room where police found the body. So she was there. All right. KHOU.
You think that, especially in our client's case, when you think that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, when
right now we're just looking at the attorneys. This is not the mother. This is the biological mother's attorneys. She hasn't publicly spoken.
Things are starting to get back to normal, when things can move forward, and then getting this type of news is just completely devastating. So I mean, it's even hard, for us to come up here and talk with you, because, I mean, we've just been dealing with, tears and pain, for the last few days,
So in January, is it correct to say that he was unlawfully possessed, right? Because he didn't have primary custody, is that correct?
Yes.
Is there at any point, was there ever a chance where she could have intercepted and somehow got him back, or was she just did she not know where he was, or what was kind of the situation? Do you know?
That I don't know.
It was attempted, as Marco already explained to you all. She did take the necessary legal steps, which was first filing a writ of habeas corpus due to the pandemic, and also, as you all must know, that it is every individual's right to be provided with service. Service became a bit more complicated to be successfully served upon him, the citation for that particular motion, which was to recuperate him.
Was she denied knowledge of his location and
Correct.
everything throughout that entire period?
Correct.
She
It
didn't
was
know
a bit of
where-
an issue to locate him, along with.
I really wonder about this story. I mean, you know, this is what they're saying. He supposedly got up and never brought the child back. I would die. Imagine a year going by. A year plus, really. A year plus. A year and a half. Somebody, the father or the supposer, would you have primary custody? I mean, I guess this kind of stuff happens. You hear about these crazy stories. I mean, there's so many, right? It wasn't there Daphne Westbrook.
The pandemic.
I don't know, man.
You used the phrase, he alluded, so service. So do you think he tried to hide so he couldn't be served?
That's how we feel. That's our position. Yes.
Has Sarah talked to Dalton over the last couple of days throughout all of this ordeal?
No, ma'am.
Does she know this Theresa, who's now no one can find her?
No, ma'am.
At one point, Sarah was accused of trying to run.
That's true,
over
David.
Dalton. Did that have anything to do with her ability?
Like that anonymous tip was really what broke the case. Yeah. I mean, it was super suspicious that Theresa disappeared, but yeah, that anonymous tip, I don't know if, you know, he would have been found.
Did not see Samuel?
I had that's part of the reason why the court system was, it was taking a long time on, being able to get, access, and I wasn't, and that's misstating, the facts of what you said as well, like trying to run them over. She was trying to exit with the child, talking about the intercept that she just mentioned, so she tried to do the intercept and then we're trying to leave. Then that's when that incident happened, and then so that's kind of what led to even further, delay on, with the court system as well.
Yeah, so that was an accusation, and the court system would have to figure out if it was true or not. But the fact that was even a charge or an accusation, did that happen? You were saying that did lead to a partial delay in the paperwork or the.
Well,
let me just one more time.
Then with the child, like what you said, it was taking a long time on, being able to get, access, and I wasn't.
Wow.
And that's misstating, the facts of what you said as well, like trying to run them over. She was trying to
So there was an accusation about a card thing. They're kind of mumbling and going over it. Sometimes you got to listen to people too. I mean, the audio's not great, but sometimes people kind of mumble under stuff too. You got to be really careful when people mumble and you agree to or whatever.
I had
At one point, Sarah was accused of trying to run over Dalton. Did that?
And I have no idea if that's true or not, but that is something that I heard as an accusation that supposedly the biological mother allegedly tried to run over the bio father. That's what they're talking about.
With her ability to not see Samuel?
I had that's part of the reason why the court system was, it was taking a long time on, being able to get, access, and I wasn't. And that's misstating, the facts of what you said as well, like trying to run them over. She was trying to exit with the child, talking about the intercept.
So she said they're stating, I feel like they're dodging a lot, but they're stating that she was trying to leave with the child. Maybe he was trying to stop her or something.
that she just mentioned, so she tried to do the intercept, and then we're trying to leave. Then that's when that incident happened, and then so that's kind of what led to even further, delay on, with the court system as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was an accusation, and the court system would have to figure out if it was true or not. But the fact that was even a charge or an accusation, did that happen? You were saying that did lead to a partial delay in the paperwork or the.
With us dealing with the family law courts, yes. I mean, but with the criminal issue, like I said, we're not on that case, so I don't know every single, fact or detail what happened, then, because, we're not the criminal attorneys, because dealing with family law, we deal with everything, in somebody's life, and even on the other side, life as well too. So, I mean, we have to take, everything, that's happened in their lives, together, and then when they separate, and then, until when they come in, with us and we file the paperwork, we go through somebody's entire life. Like, we have to be told everything, so that one specific instance, that happened, I think it was like early summer, a couple of months after the pandemic, started. I think, our client tried to take matters into her own hands to go do the intercept, and then that's when that incident
American
happened.
Furniture Warehouse is teaming up with KHOU Lebanon to help prepare for the hurricane season. Make sure your family is ready with KHOU.
Sorry about that. One of the tabs I had open started playing.
She was she was helpless, so she had to go and try to get her child back herself.
So did the accusation that occurred have anything to do with any other delays in terms of her being able to see her child? Whether, obviously, again, whether it's true or not, but did the accusation itself have an impact?
No, if your question is if she was prohibited access after that incident, no.
Like, there was nothing in basically what you're saying, there was nothing in the courts that said, any paperwork that she's not allowed to be around her child. The whole thing was like she couldn't find her child, and then that was, that was the issue. But somebody can't just go and try to, I mean, you would think that you can, go try to grab your child, especially when, you've been denied access, but, sometimes, you got to go through the system, and sometimes the system takes a lot longer than anybody, wants it to. We live in a big city. I know the courts are overloaded, especially when the pandemic hit, especially the family law courts. I mean, here with the Gonzalez Law Group, I mean, some of the criminal cases went down, the personal injury, the car accident cases went down, but, when the pandemic, it was, and actually soar with the number of family law cases, that started, from the start of the pandemic, and even now. And so I know that, and the courts were closed for months, so everything just got backed up.
The virus thing I know for sure is true as far as like the courts and all the delays and all the crazy stuff that was going on. And I'm really just reserving some of my thoughts just to see, because I think more and more is going to be coming out. I don't know, we should like jump down her throat. The thing is weird. It is a valid question. Like, what happened a year and a half? What happened? That's sure it's a valid question. But also you get it, with the father too. What happened with this situation and with this woman that you had a protection order, and now she does this. Now, I don't know how much of what she did. We can say, according to the police and the news reports, that she lied about the biological, which is dirty as hell too. That's some dirty shit. Like, you're going to accuse the parent when you did it yourself, or you had involvement yourself. You're going to just point the finger and blame somebody else. And then you're going to go out, help out with a search and hand out flyers, and then you disappear. And in that news clip that we saw, the father standing right next to the woman, Theresa, the girlfriend, pleading. And I mean, in the news conference too, the police said that there's people that they want to, I don't think they said specifically persons of interest, but people that they want to talk. I think they're being really careful of what they say. They don't want people to run or anything like that. But I think that there's more, there's got to be more to this too. And it seems like sometimes with these stories, people just kind of slither away. Maybe they usually get one person to take everything kind of thing, and other people seem to slip and slide out of the system.
Backed up. So, I mean, that's there's a combination of different things that led.
And yeah, how many of these stories do we hear? The boyfriend girlfriend kind of thing, where these people get into these horrible relationships. You know, by a mom, by a dad, go their separate ways, and then it's one person usually with a really crappy person.
To her not being able to see her child, so
Maggie said, Mel, can you play the pleading video with the girlfriend in Dalton? I've only seen short clips, like a very small little thing where the news chopped it up. If anybody has a full video, if they know if it was posted somewhere, let me know. Either DM me on Facebook or email me. I'll try to keep my email open. I'll try to look while we listen. I've always wanted to see that video. I don't know if the news has released it or maybe they didn't. I'm gonna try and see.
Because I mean, it's shown in the court documents. The jury trial for the criminal case was set for next week. So the final hearing for the family law was set a couple of weeks after that, at the end of this month. In order because family law usually don't want to make any decisions on stuff until any other court, the criminal courts, smoke clears. So and that was another situation was going on here as well. It's just this is an unfortunate situation. And our hearts go out to our client, but like I said, I mean, it's wherever Samuel is, we hope that it's a positive outcome. Even though the light is not too bright in the words of the AccuSearch, from what they're saying, but we're still praying and hoping for a positive outcome out of this.
Just a little background on her. Does she have any other kids? Do they have any other kids together?
She does not have any other kids with the Samuel's father, but she does have one other child, which she does have custody of.
And is she employed?
Yes, she is.
Can you say where? Okay.
No. Anybody else? No.
Can you do it in Spanish? Can you do it in Spanish?
There's got to be a video somewhere. Unless the media didn't post it. Sometimes it's a little tricky to find those interview videos because sometimes they'll post the chopped up version, and then on the video clip they'll post like the full thing. I don't see anything online. So the media maybe never posted it.
Welcome to the Disney Bundle, where
Jesus Christ. That's a lot of them. Yeah, I won't be able to find it through here right now. Let me see the chat if anybody knows. I'm looking for the interview, the video where, let me show you a picture. The video where, oh, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Chris Thorne, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Keep up with the good work, bro. Salute. The video, appreciate you, man. I see you're doing well too on YouTube. Hope you continue to grow. Can I find a picture? Okay, gotta be a picture. Post. Okay. Here. Let me show you guys this. They did an interview somewhere with one of the news people where they were standing out. There's clips of them. Now, I don't know if the media ever put out the full interview. That's what I want to see. I want to see their reaction, what they had to say. Look at them holding each other here dearly. This is the father and this is the girlfriend, Theresa. How crazy is that, right? I'm not saying he knew. How crazy is that? And you can see that the news people are out there. That's what I'm saying. If somebody knows where to get this clip, we can find it somewhere, I'd like to know. It would be good to watch. If the media hasn't posted it, they really should. Because I can't find it. Samuel Olson. something. Let me continue with this.
She'll be the lead in Spanish.
Amanda's Vita. Let's see. It's too loud now. Let's see. I played a clip where it's,
Yeah, I mean, I know this is, I mean, because it's so new over this weekend, it was, crazy. I mean, I know she's just, like I said, even getting one sentence out of her, she's just, I mean, she's so emotional right now. But, I mean, we hope that, she can assist in the pleas to the community, for help, with Samuel within the next couple of days.
And I know that she probably doesn't have many recent photos either, but if she had any that she'd be willing to share, we'd love to have those.
Yes, before you guys get started. If there are any photos or anything that she can share, you can email or text.
Yeah, I will send it to you guys.
15 seconds.
Yeah, of course. Okay, great. Perfect.
Let's see what this is. Fast forward a little bit.
Anything will help. We appreciate all of y'all for coming out. We appreciate all of y'all for coming on out. Anything will help to find, Samuel.
Having all this out there and not being able to, combat it. Because it's, I don't know, to have that story.
Yeah, of course. And it's in the press release also in my Yeah.
¿Nos puedes ayudar primero con tu nombre completo?
Sí, mi nombre es Joanna Anaya. Yo soy una de las abogadas representando a la señora Sarah Olson.
Joanna, ¿qué nos puedes decir hasta el momento de la versión de la madre de Sam?
Okay, la madre de Sam está
I guess that's it.
completamente
It's the Spanish
destrozada,
portion.
al punto de que
Fast forward a little bit.
Tener este acercamiento.
Can we
Oh, hold on. I want to show you guys something too. What we should check out real quick too is that Flossie was telling me during this press conference, this happened yesterday evening, and so during this press conference is when they're told about that a body was found. So we can see their reaction too.
se procede casos de quién pudo ella preocupa que sobre
Okay, here it is. That's the last 2 minutes. Okay, thanks. Amanda, thanks.
Oh no, this just came out right now? Oh shit.
This is it there.
Yeah, so Jasper's in East Texas.
Near Beaumont, I think.
Yeah, it's north of Beaumont. Yeah, it's where James Berg was killed a number of years ago.
Yeah, when he was drunk, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever heard of Jasper.
Yeah.
Wow.
What did I say real quick?
Only time I've ever. Yeah, when he was drunk, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was drunk or what?
Yeah, James Berg was killed a number of years ago.
Yeah, when he was drunk, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever heard of Jasper.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can we
That's crazy.
Yeah, it hasn't been confirmed, but can we just get any comment from you on this possible development?
The only comment, I mean,
You mind going back up to the?
it's heartbreaking.
maybe that's what she wasn't answering.
I did. reports coming from a newspaper in Jasper saying that the police have discovered, they're investigating the discovery of a young child found in a local motel room there, the Best Western Inn. And there could be, unfortunately, a connection with Samuel's disappearance. Just, I don't even know if Mom knows about this news, but just briefly a response if it is indeed connected.
The only thing right now is we all got to pray that it's not, you know, we all got to pray that Samuel, you know, is okay somewhere. And this young boy's body found in this motel room in Jasper will not come back as being identified as young Samuel. We just learned this literally 10 seconds ago, and I mean, we just want to.
They were on ABC 13.
Call our client, you know, Sarah. And,
okay.
I'm at a loss for words. I wouldn't know, you know, how to take that news if it was me, you know. But let's hope it's not. Let's hope it's not.
Any idea if Dalton or Sarah had any connection to Jasper or East Texas?
No, like not from our client, and you know, this is rough. This is tough. Like, not from our client.
You said you're gonna call her after this? I mean, what is that conversation?
Okay, here's some interesting.
I'm at a loss for words now with you.
Video.
I don't know what to say to her. You know, we just.
Okay. We'll watch this one.
Just need to pray that it's not him, and you know, whoever.
At Ideal Image.
You know, I mean, it's just. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, it's too much, you know, hurt and pain. You know, even for if it's not Samuel, somebody's hurting. You know, for that young boy, and then we're just. And they need to hope and pray that it's not Samuel. It's not Samuel. It's just it'd be a lot to take for our client. We just need to, you know, try to talk to her and pray that it's not it. And that's all. You know, I can't really say anything else on that. We just got to pray that it's not. Pray that it's not.
Thank you, sir.
At Ideal Image.
Sorry about I was trying to find the clip. I guess that's it with this.
Obviously, if she's willing to talk within the next couple of days, let us know, please.
Damn, it's already almost 1 o'clock. I'll put 1. Okay. That's done with that. Let me play this quick little video. I couldn't find the clip that I wanted to show you guys. I definitely don't know that that interview actually exists. Like, I'm sure the media has it, but they probably didn't put it out. Wish I had media contacts. They should put that out. I don't know why they didn't.
News in the death of 6-year-old Samuel Olson. Houston police now say that child's body was found in a motel room in Jasper, about 2 hours northeast of Houston. New video from overnight shows investigators going in and out of that room wearing protective clothing. And police say they are questioning a possible suspect in Samuel's disappearance and death. He was reported missing last Thursday. ABC 13 had the first Houston reporter in Jasper last night. We've sent our Charlie Etzedy to that Best Western motel this morning. And Charlie, a tip led police there.
Yes, Samika, that's exactly right. That tip led them 2 hours northeast here to Jasper. We're standing just a few feet away from the motel room where police say they made that awful discovery, a body that they believe belongs to 6-year-old Samuel Olson. Now, investigators, as you just saw in that video, were in and out of that room all night long looking for clues and other evidence. Our ABC 13 cameras were the only ones to capture the footage of crime scene techs at work all evening long. Now, the boy as you said, was initially reported missing last Thursday by the girlfriend of Samuel's father. Her name is Theresa Balboa. Now, she claims Samuel was at his paternal grandmother's house when Samuel's biological mother showed up with someone they thought was a police officer and then took the boy. So far, investigators with HPD have not been able to verify any of those claims. And we got a tweet yesterday from Chief Troy Finner with HPD also confirming this awful discovery, stating police believe the body does belong to Samuel, and also stating they are questioning a possible suspect in this case. Our ABC 13 sources tell us that Theresa Balboa is the one being questioned. She was the one who reported Samuel's disappearance to police, and since then has been at different meetups to search for this little boy. Now, the investigation took a very troubling turn when it was discovered that this little boy had not been seen at school since April 30th, so several weeks before he was actually reported missing to police. Now, I want you to listen to what Balboa told our ABC 13 cameras on Monday about her claims of what happened, and then listen to a response from the attorney for Samuel's biological mother.
And I was going to take Sam to school when his mother showed up with a police officer, or what I was under the impression to be a police officer. And they demanded me to release Sam, and I have no legal rights to him. I'm not his guardian.
This is the video I want the full. I would love to see the unedited raw version of this. And it looks like ABC 13 had it. I'm trying to search their videos now to see if they ever posted it or not. It would be cool to see that. If anybody knows, let me know.
Samuel went approximately 2 months without attending any
police officer.
Biological mother.
And I was going to take Sam to school when his mother showed up with a police officer, or what I was under the impression to be a police officer. And they demanded me to release Sam, and I have no legal rights to him. I'm not his guardian.
Samuel went approximately 2 months without attending any school, and then eventually was transferred to another school. Exact information as to why, we don't know. A lot of information along with possession and visitation has been withheld all this time.
All right, so as you just heard, there's so much conflicting information about where this little 6-year-old boy had been over the last several weeks. And so this morning we're expecting to get a press conference from investigators on this case, hopefully shedding more light on what happened here. But again, just an awful discovery here at this Best Western, a body believed to be that of 6-year-old Samuel Olson. We're live from Jasper. Charlie Ed City, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Charlie, you were on the story yesterday, and you said we are hoping for the best. We were all hoping for the best in this story, Charlie. Thank you so much for your updates here. This story stretches across the Houston area. Houston police told us the last time anyone outside of Samuel's family saw him was April 30th at Holbrook Elementary School in Cy-Fair ISD. According to Balboa, Samuel was with her at her mother's house on McAvoy Street in Southwest Houston last Thursday, and that's when she claims she was told to turn him over. Monday night, police searched an apartment where a friend of Balboa's lives, and that's in the Clear Lake area. Then last night, police say a tip led them to the hotel there in Jasper, about 2 hours northeast of Houston. And look at this. This is video Samuel's family shared with us. He turned 6 years old over the weekend.
Cut off there. I'm gonna send a DM to somebody just to see if it's available, if they'll put it out or whatever. I'm looking on this page and it's just like links and links and links, but I don't actually see. So maybe they never released it. I think I can think of. Because I don't know when that video was from too. When it must have been recent, I guess. Where's Sam volunteers? Bunch of links. See something here. Videos. Let's see live streams. Nothing recent. All right, I guess what I'll do is then I'm gonna have to do a search off stream. I don't want to do it right now. I can't find anything. We'll do that off stream. If anybody knows the information to that, where that video's at, hit me up. The last thing that I'm gonna end this video off on, just a quick story with regards to this South Florida storm drain woman. She was found in another storm drain. I don't know what's going on. She clearly has some issues, you know, possibly mental issues. Let me play real quick. Let me play one of my videos, and then I'll just touch on the update. Oops. Crazy time. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I think that video is kind of important, especially now. Mel, KPRC2, I sent you the... Okay, what did you emailed me? Okay, I see the email. Let's see. Tell me you got it.
Now it's 6.
No, it's just tidbits. Let me see.
Demanded me to release his mother.
Houston last Thursday morning.
I was going to take Sam to school when his mother showed up with a police officer, or what I was under the impression to be a police officer, and they demanded me to release Sam.
Balboa says she doesn't have legal rights to the child, so she turned him over.
They had a full police uniform. They had a gun, handcuffs, everything, radio.
Balboa says she doesn't.
Well, this was cool. It has a little bit more clips. There has to be one that's like unedited.
Remember physical characteristics nor a name. Olson says Samuel's mother has legal custody of the boy, last seen wearing a gray t-shirt, jean shorts, and white Buzz Lightyear tennis shoes.
I just need to know where my son is.
A live look now at the apartment complex across the street from that field. I can tell you that detectives were seen on the up. Now join the efforts to find the this massive grassy patch here behind an apartment complex along the...
It's got to be somewhere. That video has to be somewhere.
Houston-Webster line. This, as the boy's father also came here to the scene today. And while HPD says that this appears to be a custody battle, the boy's father alleges that his mother took him with a fake cop. Police will not back up that claim. They're not confirming that they're looking into that. Also, another note here. The boy's mother, according to police, doesn't know where he is, and the father crying here today says he doesn't know either.
No parent should ever have to go through this.
Dalton Olson wants to know where is his son, 6-year-old Samuel.
I feel like I'm having a bad dream that I can't wake up from.
The nightmare carried on. Day 5 today, the search, a grassy field behind an apartment complex at the intersection of Dixie Farm Road and Gulf Breeze Drive in Webster. Why this location, officials would not disclose.
We're really trying to figure out when is the last time little Sam was actually seen, so we've got somewhat of a starting point of when something possibly happened.
Texas EquiSearch's Tim Miller says solving that puzzle has been easier said because of how Dalton Olson and his girlfriend, Theresa Balboa, allege little Samuel was taken.
I had no choice but to hand him over.
Balboa says Samuel was staying with her at her mother's home in Southwest Houston last Thursday morning.
I was going to take Sam to school when his mother showed up with a police officer, or what I was under the impression to be a police officer, and they demanded me to release Sam.
That's just crazy too to me. That's why I want to see the full video. I'm going to make it a mission. I don't even know if it's out, but it's always amazing when people like this can lie about something like that on TV and attempt to like keep a straight face, and he's dead.
Sam to school when his mother showed up with a police officer, or what I was under the impression to be a police officer, and they demanded me to release Sam.
Balboa says she doesn't have legal rights to the child, so she turned him over.
They had a full police uniform. They had a gun, handcuffs, everything, radio.
Balboa says she doesn't remember physical characteristics nor a name. Olson says Samuel's mother has legal custody of the boy, last seen wearing a gray...
So that's that one. We're gonna do this quick one to end off the stream. Been an hour. I didn't think we were gonna go this long. Time flies by too. I had all these issues today. But the storm drain woman. There's an update to the story. I'm gonna play this clip for the new people that don't know this story. I guess I can go. See, I can go somewhat full screen, I guess. Thing a little bit new. The new software that I've been using to do stream for about this story that I'm about to talk about now, the woman that was found in a sewer drain. There's more details. We got a name. We got the 911 call we're gonna listen to. Her name is out and released. Silvio. Yeah, I need to get a haircut. I'm looking clean right there. Thank you, Jen, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Trying to see what you said. Everything's delayed over here. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you for all your hard work, iCkEdMeL. These stories are so important. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate the support and being a member. Video brought it to my attention. I'm not sure if it was on the article during the live stream, but it's definitely out now. And the way she was found is because somebody was walking near the storm drain around 9 a.m. this morning, and they called 911. The person's name is Lindsay Jane Kennedy. She's 43 years old, and she was removed from the drain by Delray Beach Fire Rescue, which all those pictures that we saw were earlier. And so the story goes, Kennedy, who was reported missing by her boyfriend on March 3rd, said she had gone swimming in a canal about 3 miles away from where she was found. She said while swimming, she came across a doorway near a shallow part of the canal, which she entered and found a tunnel. Okay, that's pretty wild. Because of her curiosity, Kenny then followed the tunnel, which led to multiple other tunnels, causing her to become lost. And, you know, anytime I think about these stories, it just makes me think of like Noemi and just even myself. I'm very a curious type of person. I could see myself going out to explore and like totally seeing something like that. I don't know that I would go that far into a tunnel. And I'd also have all my GPS stuff. But there's still a lot missing to the story. And well, that doesn't make sense. And there's some more details about mental health, etc. So because of her curiosity, she then followed the tunnel, which led to multiple other tunnels, causing her to become lost. She told police she walked around the labyrinth, and those canals are usually typically kind of dirty, right? And some of those canals, it's kind of like dirty and stuff, depending on where you go, of tunnels for about 3 weeks before spotting some light and saw people walking past her, prompting her to. So supposedly this woman was in a tunnel for 3 weeks. This is the crazy part of this story. And then again, she was found, and it just kind of, she's in Texas now. It's wild. It's a little wild. And a friend of mine sent me a story from years and years ago, besides this one, and another time, that there might have been another time. She has this like thing with tunnels. But supposedly she survived in this tunnel for 3 weeks, like on a can of ginger ale. I don't know. Let me keep playing the story. Sit in place at a location. Now, Kennedy's mother was later contacted and notified that they had found her missing daughter. She told police that Kennedy has a history of mental illness and is a frequent user of illegal narcotics. The woman's mother also said that Kennedy has done other odd things in the past and has a history of making bad decisions when she is high on, the police report said. So definitely a weird one. The other thing too, this is from FloridaNewsTimes.com. The other one was from Fox 13 Now. Florida News Times says that despite the strange story, officials said Kennedy looked very clear and did not meet the criteria for hospitalization under Florida's Baker Act. But officials at the Delray Medical Center, where Kennedy was transferred, requested a mental health assessment. According to police, Kennedy was also treated for superficial wounds such as knee abrasions. So let's check out the 911 call. Crime. Let me know what you think about this. Well, not really this, not the 911 call. Not that there's anything odd about a 911 call, but the peculiar situation in which she was found. Because the other thing I was wondering about, and I was talking to Silvio about this, is 3 weeks in sewers, like in the sewer drains. What did you drink? Because when I look up online, somebody can't go without water for several days. I think, from what I read, after 3 to 5 days, the organs start to shut down. And so, what did you drink? What did you eat for 3 weeks? So this is the 911 call here, and this is provided by WPTV.
911, do you have an emergency? Hi, yes, there's somebody stuck in a sewer over here on Atlantic in 11th Avenue.
Somebody stuck in
There's a lady stuck in a sewer. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am. She
what's-
cannot get out.
That's
She's
wild.
screaming for help.
Okay, you're at Southwest 12th or 11th?
I'm on 11th Avenue in Atlantic.
11th.
Yeah, the cops are on their way, okay? I can't come down there.
Okay, hold on one second. We're on the way. I'm going to get the fire department on the phone.
Okay.
That person on that channel, it's just the same clip that we watched. It's just the news clip, so we already watched that. I'm looking for the full actual video, not just the clips that are being posted that we watched already. You know.
This is Zoe with a transfer. That's Southwest 11th Avenue and West Atlantic. We're on the way as well. It's going to be a female that's stuck in a sewer.
She got down here. Maybe she squeezed down that way. I'm thinking.
And that's what they were saying. If you saw in the live stream, they were showing the actual sewer, like the top part. No way she could have came from up top. But supposedly, I guess she wandered in from the other side, the other tunnels. I'll show you guys a picture after this video.
Hello, caller? No. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so a female is stuck in the sewer?
Yes, ma'am.
How did she get in there?
I'm not sure. I don't know. She was just screaming for help, and the lady was walking, and I had my window down. I was driving, and she heard her screaming. We heard her screaming. So,
Okay.
So she
outside of Atlantic.
So I got in the car, and she was she's naked.
Naked in the tunnels for allegedly 3 weeks with 1 can of ginger ale. And I don't know, even for water consumption, I thought you need, like, after 7 days you could die or something without water. Yeah, I know ginger ale probably has some sort of content of water inside, but 1 can? I don't know.
She don't have
And why naked? I mean, was she on substances maybe? I don't know.
no clothes, so I don't.
Or was she having a mental lapse, I guess? I don't know.
Is she on the south side of Atlantic Avenue?
Art and soul, that's what I thought at first too. Maybe the boyfriend knew something or whatever. But now that she was in Texas, she did the same thing. She was in a rehab. We're going to talk about that 1 second.
Yes, ma'am. She's like right before you get to the
Imagine you just walking down the street and you're just, hey, help! And you look and there's somebody in the drink. Like, you look down. Like, what the hell? Naked and everything.
on Atlantic Avenue. She's right on the street right here by the store.
Okay. All right, we have Health Authority on the way. Can you see any visible injuries on her?
You hurt? Hey! No, she ain't hurt. She just don't got on her clothes.
Feeling low.
Oh, I actually got an ad. Wait 1 second. She's wild. And she's still going into the drains. Man. And here's another video, a short clip from the fire department speaking on the situation.
Just before 9 o'clock, we got a 911 call from a Good Samaritan who said she heard somebody in the storm drain yelling. When fire rescue got there, they did in fact see a woman in a storm drain right off of Atlantic Avenue. So just a few feet from rush hour traffic on Atlantic Avenue and Southwest 11th Avenue. They removed the grate. Our special operations team came, determined the woman wasn't really able to stand or lift herself onto a ladder, so they put the ladder in, used a harness to raise her up to ground level. They evaluated her, transported her to the hospital for further evaluation.
Okay. The condition of the woman so far, do we have any updates on her?
I haven't received an update as yet. She was very weak at the scene. She didn't have any clothes on. She was very dirty. She had some superficial wounds like scrapes on her knees. She was able to communicate to police officers and to firefighters at the scene, although she didn't say much. She didn't seem to have a whole lot of energy.
Any idea of how she got down there?
That's a question that the police department is trying to answer. You know, how she got down there, how long she was down there, we just don't know. To look at her, you can look at her and see she was down there for some time. What that time is just a mystery right now.
Is this the first that Delray has seen a type of incident like this before?
Yeah, firefighters go to storm drain calls a lot. We rescue ducklings and kittens and puppies, and this is the first time anybody can remember actually seeing a person down there. It doesn't seem as if she could fit through the grate to get down into the storm drain right there. It's about 8 feet deep, and there were 2 pipes leading to it. So we don't know how she got in there. If she went in right there at that point, or if she came in through those pipes, we just don't know. That's something the police department is investigating.
And what's next? Obviously, the police department, they're doing their work and so forth. How long before they come up with a conclusion themselves?
You know, part of this might just remain a mystery. You know, they were able to speak to her on.
That's what I was saying on live earlier too. We might not even ever find out the full story. They might not want to disclose that.
On scene somewhat, and the police department is going to do what they do. They're going to figure out exactly what happened, if any criminality was involved. And suffice it to say, this was such an unusual call today. I don't think it's one anybody will forget.
The sunshine.
So, besides that, there's another time too. Did I play that video in this other one before we get to the more recent update? I don't know if that was the first one. There was an update video I did because she was found again. Oh yeah, what's this one? Let me play this real quick, just a few moments of it, and then we'll get to the update. It's just a really weird, bizarre story. I know police were saying that they didn't fully believe the claims that she was there that long. Shannon Ryan, that whole situation got rid. This is the Florida woman, in case you don't know this story. This is the Florida woman that she was actually reported missing on March 3rd by her boyfriend, okay? And she was found 3 weeks later. Thought I had the date here. I have it somewhere, but 3 weeks later, she was found, okay? Now, and the interesting thing is because in the news reports, people that were talking this, they had never heard of a case like this. At least for them personally, never heard of a case. I mean, this was like police and the fire department. They're saying they never heard of a case like this. And Silvio this morning found this article from 20. And I want you guys to tell me, this is in Florida again. Before we get to the other incident, before we get to the most recent incident, I want you guys to tell me if you think this is the same person. 15, where there was another woman about 30 minutes away. They never released her name. That was found swimming in a canal, and she decided to go into a pipe. So we're gonna get into that. So she's reported missing March 3rd, and she's found 3 weeks later. What Kennedy is claiming, okay, and her family said she has mental health issues and she has a substance use issue. She's claiming that for the 3 weeks, she lived off of a can of ginger ale. Okay? A can of ginger ale. One of the notes that I took, show you what the police were saying. She mentioned that she had been in the storm drain for 3 weeks. We from the police department find it very hard to believe that she spent that amount of time down there. You need food and water, and some things don't add up, which I'm sure they know more than we do. Police said it's possible for someone to survive that long in a storm drain, but are skeptical about her story. The other thing too I wanted to show you while we talk about this, I'll see if I can find it. This is the storm drain right here. That stuff is dirt. It's a really dirty. I don't know why. I hope they don't copyright this. I want to play a video about water. I'm gonna skip past the water thing here. Yeah. So she told authorities that she survived. Okay. On an unopened can of ginger ale, which she found while inside a storm drain. Kennedy claims she found a door while swimming in a pond that led to a series of tunnels that she got lost for 3 weeks. She was naked. Somebody said meth. Han Kennedy, the family friend, is supportive and believes the account that was given to authorities. The woman's mother said that she has a history of mental illness, which we talked about previously. Lindsay is currently staying with her mother and confirms she also has a daughter here in Florida. So the missing woman has a daughter too. Okay. Let me check something real quick. Do we have people on Facebook? Is person? Okay, so let's talk about it a little bit more. She was rescued on Tuesday, so I'm gonna skip past this to the other story where the Del Rey. Let's get past that. Where are we at? Where are we at? Okay. I guess that was it. So, okay, so here's this story, and this one's a little bit hard to get the dimensions right. Maybe I can do this. Okay, I think we can work with this. So, Palm Beach Gardens officer reflects on Lake Catherine water. Thank you for subscribing, guys, and hitting like and sharing. Really appreciate it. I see the feed here. Thank you. Rescue. Okay, this is from this was posted 2015, September 2015. Palm Beach Gardens police officer Bethany, who rescued a woman caught in a pipe at Lake Catherine Park June 29th, talks about the ordeal by the culvert Thursday, September 3rd, 2015. She crawled into a dark drainage pipe with nasty debris in full uniform to calm down the trapped woman and free her. It sounds a little similar, right? Days like June 29th, the White Palm Beach Gardens police officer Bethany puts on her uniform and comes to work. It was early in her shift when a young woman was found stuck by herself in a drainage pipe at Lake Catherine along MacArthur Boulevard. People were at the lake for a fishing camp, and directors noticed a woman swimming in toward the drain. When they didn't see her anymore, they called for help. Probably why they found her so fast, because they saw her swimming in this place. And this is not a place that people normally go to swim. It's like, I mean, I haven't been there, but it's like probably those darkest type of water. It's mixed with probably not the best environment to swim in. The scene was hectic when Guerrero arrived. The field training officer who was with the department since 2004 since panic, she said. Desperation is really the best way I could describe it, she said. Let's just skip to the video. Get to the video. Get to the video.
Story you'll only see right here on WPBF 25 News. The Palm Beach Gardens police officer who saved the life of a woman who was stuck in a storm drain back in June is talking about it for the first time.
Only our cameras were rolling when the woman was rescued from Lake Catherine Park more than a month ago. Sonica Donge reports.
When Officer Bethany Guerrero first got on scene here at Lake Catherine Park, she noticed two things. First, the storm drain was just a foot to a foot and a half wide. And second, the woman stuck inside only had an inch to an inch and a half of air at the top of the storm drain.
That's wild. That's wild.
To breathe.
It was a lot of panic on scene, a lot of desperation, obviously.
It was a normal June day for field training officer Guerrero until...
Volume's a little low. Sorry about that. By the way, welcome everybody. We're
a no swimming area.
In the 2 minutes that I had gotten here on scene, she had managed to crawl inside of the storm drain.
And had gotten stuck. As officers swarmed the drain, Guerrero stayed calm.
I don't know if it was the connection of hearing another female voice that was able to calm her down, but by that time I had established a rapport with her, and it was only me that she wanted to communicate with.
After much coaxing, Guerrero convinced the woman to float.
I didn't even know they had her on video here.
On her back and shimmy her way out. A happy ending that almost wasn't, because Guerrero
kind of looks like her. I mean, it's hard to tell because it's blurry. Oh, maybe I can get you a bigger view. Let me take it back just a little bit. I mean, it kind of looks like her. It's just really hard to tell. But she's definitely the same skin tone, same body type. I think that's her.
A happy ending that almost...
I think that was her that time. I think that was her obviously it was her this last time, because this last time they actually put her name. And then now the more recent one, a couple days ago, she was found in another storm drain.
Wasn't, because Guerrero says the summer drought was what prevented the storm drain from filling up with water completely. Guerrero says this is the first time in 12 years she's ever got a call like this one, and for good reason. In addition to the alligators in the water here, there's also algae and plenty of other wildlife. At Lake Catherine Park.
So that's that. And then I want to give you the more recent one now, and then we'll call it a stream. Let me pull it up here. And this one's just a little bit to read. This woman, she needs help. Clearly needs help. I mean, it looks like she was trying to get help. I'm bringing it up because there might not be a next time, you know. Maybe next time she gets stuck in one of these things and there's no coming back. They might not even find your body next time going into these sewer drains. But it says here, this was today, posted today. Florida woman discovered naked in storm drain, rescued underground again. Woman's loved ones dropped bags of food and Gatorade in manholes in an effort to sustain her. They're still using the old pictures. This is this was the old one. And so some of the updates: a South Florida woman who went missing several weeks before being discovered and naked in a storm drain in Delray Beach has been rescued underground for a second time, which I actually think it's a third time because Sylvia passed me the other article. Lindsay Kennedy wandered off and was reported missing by local police a little over a week after she checked herself into a rehab facility in Texas. Her family told the news outlet. Kennedy's best friend Brady told the outlet that when Grand Prairie police spotted Kennedy near a creek, she slipped into a nearby storm drain when authorities approached her. However, thanks to a tracking app on Kennedy's cell phone, her family was able to ping it and get her location before entering the underground system. And on that previous video that I did, I showed the map and stuff. She went really far on one of the other incidences underground. And in the previous incident, she didn't take a cell phone with her. Like, so they had no way of tracking her or anything. During the search, the family and friends located nearby manholes as well as storm drains, and they were dropping bags of food and Gatorade to sustain her. So, and then May 29th, that's the other incident where she climbed out of a 6-foot drain pipe and was transported to a hospital. And that's that. That's kind of the story. Hope she gets help. It looks like they're trying. She might not be somebody that can be left alone, you know, because next time, and I guess there's only so much you can do when you're trying to help somebody in that type of situation. I mean, it's probably got to be tough, but you know, there might not be a time that she comes back from that. I don't know. Not too sure. But anyway, thank you guys for joining the live stream. I really appreciate it. You know, please hit like on the way out if you wouldn't mind sharing. Thank you for all the people that shared, subscribed, left some comments. Thank you for the super chats. There's a new member too. I'm trying to find the member. If I could find it, might be a little hard. There we go. We give Jarnell Stokes their credit. Did I play? Oh, I played the wrong thing. Did I do the wrong thing? Jarnell Stokes. Try to do it again. Doesn't seem to be working. Alert box. I guess I'll have to mess with that next time for some reason.
Well, you look at
that.
That.
There it is.
Huge
delay.
Remember.
Might play 2 times.
Welcome to the dark side.
And thank you guys too for bearing with me earlier with all the issues that I had. But I think it's worked out now. I think we have it fine-tuned. So have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Peace. Thank you for all the support. We'll keep following the stories. Give it a second for the delay.